Watch any room full of people and you'll notice something. The weakest ones talk first. They talk the most. They talk the loudest. They need you to hear them, to validate them, to confirm that what they're saying matters. They fill every silence because silence terrifies them. Because in silence they disappear. But the strongest man in the room, he speaks last. Not because he has nothing to say, but because he has nothing to prove. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation to dominate the room. His presence does that for him. His silence carries more weight than most men's words. This is not about being quiet for the sake of being mysterious. This is not some tactic to seem aloof or play games. This is about understanding a fundamental truth. Power is not demonstrated through constant talking. It's revealed through strategic silence, through knowing when to speak and when to listen, through having the discipline to hold your thoughts until the moment they'll have maximum impact. If you're tired of talking too much and being heard too little, if you're ready to understand why silence is often more powerful than speech, then stay with this. Subscribe now if you're serious about commanding real respect. Because what follows will show you why the strongest man speaks last, and how to become him. Let's begin. There's a reason weak men talk first. They're insecure. They need to establish their presence immediately because they're afraid if they don't, they'll be forgotten. They're afraid their ideas won't be heard unless they shout them first. They're afraid that silence means invisibility, so they jump in, they interrupt. They dominate conversations not with insight, but with volume. They talk over people, not because they have something important to say, but because they need to be saying something, anything. Because in their minds, the person talking is the person who matters. But that's not how power works. That's not how respect works. The person talking isn't necessarily the person who matters. Often, they're the person who matters least. Because if you have to work that hard to be heard, if you have to fight for attention, you've already revealed something about your position. The strong man doesn't fight for attention. Attention comes to him naturally, because when he speaks, people listen. Not because he's loud, but because he's selective. Because his words carry weight earned through the discipline of silence. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He ruled the most powerful empire in the world, and he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." He didn't need to constantly prove his worth through speech. He demonstrated it through action and strategic silence. He listened more than he spoke. He observed before he judged. And when he did speak, his words mattered because they were rare and considered. The strongest man speaks last because he's gathering information while everyone else is performing. While the weak are rushing to share their opinions, he's listening. He's observing. He's understanding the room. He's seeing who actually knows what they're talking about and who's just posturing. He's identifying the real issues beneath the surface noise. And by the time he speaks, he has context that no one else has. He's heard every perspective. He's identified the flaws in every argument. He knows exactly what needs to be said and exactly how to say it. His contribution isn't just another opinion thrown into the chaos. It's the clarifying statement that cuts through everything else. This is why his words land differently. Not because they're louder, but because they're last. Because everyone has already exhausted themselves. Because the room is finally ready to listen instead of waiting to talk. Because the silence before he speaks has created anticipation. Think about the meetings you've been in, the negotiations, the group conversations. Who gets remembered? Not the person who talked the most, not the person who spoke first, but the person who said the thing that mattered, the person whose words shifted the energy, the person who waited until the right moment and then delivered exactly what was needed. That's power, that's presence. That's what it means to be the strongest in the room. Seneca wrote about this. He observed that the wise man speaks because he has something to say. The fool speaks because he has to say something. This distinction is everything. Are you speaking because your words add value? Or are you speaking because silence makes you uncomfortable? Most men speak to fill silence, to prove they're present, to demonstrate they have opinions. But in doing so, they reveal their weakness. They reveal their need for validation. They reveal that they measure their worth by how much airtime they get. The strong man has no such need. He's comfortable in silence. He doesn't need to constantly remind the room he's there. His presence is felt whether he's speaking or not. And when he does speak, it's not performance. It's contribution. It's not about him. It's about moving the conversation forward, solving the problem, providing the clarity everyone was missing. This doesn't mean you never speak. It doesn't mean you sit silently through every conversation. It means you're strategic. It means you listen first. It means you understand before you contribute. It means you speak when you have something worth saying, not just when you have something to say. Watch how this changes dynamics. In a business meeting, the person who speaks last often controls the decision. Because they've heard all the arguments, they can synthesize, they can address concerns that others raised. They can position their perspective as the logical conclusion of everything that came before. In a negotiation, the person who speaks last often wins, because they've let the other side reveal their position, their concerns, their limits. They have information that the first speaker didn't have. They can respond to reality instead of guessing at it. In a conflict, the person who speaks last often resolves it, because they've let the emotions exhaust themselves. They've let everyone say what they needed to say, and then they can speak to the actual issue without all the noise and heat that clouded it before. This is strategic silence. This is disciplined speech. This is what separates the strong from the weak. But it requires something difficult. It requires ego management, because your ego wants to speak first. Your ego wants everyone to hear your brilliant thoughts immediately. Your ego wants credit, wants attention, wants validation. And if you listen to your ego, you'll be the weak man talking first, talking most, talking loudest. The strong man has learned to quiet his ego. He doesn't need the validation of being heard. He doesn't need the credit of speaking first. He's secure enough to listen, patient enough to wait, disciplined enough to speak only when his words will have maximum impact. Epictetus taught his students that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen twice as much as we speak. But most men reverse this ratio. They speak constantly and listen barely at all. And then they wonder why no one respects their words. Your words have value in proportion to their scarcity. If you're always talking, your words become noise. People stop listening because they know another sentence is coming right behind this one. But if you speak rarely, if you speak with purpose, if you speak last, people lean in, they pay attention, they know that what you're about to say matters. This is not manipulation, this is not playing games, this is understanding human nature. People value what's rare, they dismiss what's constant. If you want your words to matter, make them rare, make them count, make them strategic. And the way you do this is by developing comfort with silence, by sitting through conversations without feeling the compulsion to fill every gap, by letting others speak first, by observing, listening, understanding. And then, when the moment is right, when you have something that actually needs to be said, you speak. And when you do, people listen. Not because you demanded it, but because you've earned it. Through the discipline of your silence, through the selectivity of your speech, through the strength of not needing to constantly prove yourself. The strongest man in the room speaks last because he understands that silence is not weakness. Silence is observation. Silence is strategy. Silence is confidence. Silence is the foundation from which powerful speech emerges. So stop rushing to fill every silence. Stop needing to prove you're the smartest person in the room by speaking first. Stop measuring your value by how much you talk. Start listening more than you speak. Start observing before you contribute. Start speaking last, not first. Start making every word count instead of counting on volume to make your words matter. This is how you command respect. This is how you demonstrate strength. This is how you become the person in the room whose words actually matter, not by talking the most, but by talking the least and making it count the most. The strongest man in the room speaks last, not because he's afraid to speak, but because he's wise enough to listen first, disciplined enough to wait, confident enough to let others exhaust themselves